Hey guys, and welcome to my channel where we talk about all things Kajabi, marketing, and growing your online business. My name is Rebecca Austin, and today we are going to talk about coaching best practices. Now, I'm super excited about Kajabi's just releasing their new coaching product inside the Kajabi platform. And as a coach myself, this was one that I have been anticipating and looking forward to for quite some time. Now, if you missed the first couple videos that we did on it, the first video we introduced you to the new coaching product so that you could see what it looks like and get an idea of some of the features. And the second video we went into how to set it up from a technical standpoint inside Kajabi. But today I want to dive deep a little bit more into coaching best practices from a strategic standpoint, from a Kajabi standpoint, and also from a business and an opportunity standpoint. So before we dive in too far, I want to to just basically talk a little bit that coaching means different things to different people. And the way that you use the coaching program that's just been released inside Kajabi may vary based on what it is that you want it to look like for your business. It doesn't necessarily have to follow the perceived norm. You can create this to be whatever you feel best fits your clients and your program and how you want your business to look. Overall, the way that the product is set up in Kajabi is a way for you to have a place where your clients can log in and see inside their library very specific information and scheduling that's specific to you and them. So it's essentially, in the grand sense, the way that it's primarily designed is for the typical coaching where you or one of your staff or someone in your company is working with that person one-on-one, and you want to use it to keep track of communication and keep track of sessions, which is fantastic. And I love that this is now available where we can use this from a strategic standpoint and as a customer experience standpoint. But it also could be other things. So I'm just throwing that out there just a little bit. So for example, I have one client who does reviews, and that we can use this then to help them keep track of how many reviews in their industry. It's specific to that particular industry where he's helping them with a technology in the industry and helping them with their technology review. And it works really, really well for that as well, because you're basically using it to keep track of sessions or to keep track of reviews or keep track of packages or whatever it is. So you can use it if you're doing copywriting packages. You can do it if you're setting up one-on-one type of anything in your business. So sky's the limit. I just wanted to kind of throw that out there to just kind of plant the seed that we don't always have to follow the norm of what everybody else is doing in our business, because sometimes when we kind of circumvent the norm is when it really sets our business apart. So just throwing that out there. All right, so best practices in Kajabi as far as using this program. Let me share my screen just a little bit and I'll show you some of my ideas from this perspective. So one of the things to keep in mind is that the way that Kajabi has it set up is that the product for the coaching is specific to whether it's a one-on-one session, if it's a package of multiple sessions, and then varying on how it's set up is a separate product. So in mine, for example, we have a single one-off session I have set up in here as a separate product, and I use this for my pre-launch funnel or website reviews. So this is kind of different than the typical coaching, because what I'm doing is I'm using this to communicate. Where I used to is that I would create a whole report, and then we'd set up a Zoom session and we'd record that session, and then I would have to submit them, both the report and the recording, on Dropbox or some other platform. And I love that I can do this now inside Kajabi, because all of that information then is taking them to the library where they're logging into my website. We talked about that in the last video. But strategically, anytime that we're driving traffic to our website is a good thing, not only from an analytics, but also from an engagement perspective. So now when I do a website review or a pre-launch review or a funnel review for one of my clients, helping them before they launch, and I go through with a fine-tooth comb and I test everything and I look at everything and I put up a report and I give suggestions for copy and I help them to improve on different things that might help with conversions. Now we set it up as a one-off coaching session, because what this does then is this gives me a place where I can submit my report to them through the resources, where I upload that as a resource where they can look at that report. They can schedule their session with me where we go over that report and we fix some things and we talk about some strategies, and then the replay gets uploaded afterward so they can then go back and reference this, but it's in their library. So it's a fantastic way then for a one-off type of scenario to use this. But I do have other products that I've set up for this for my other coaching packages. So I have a 2-session package, a 10-session package. I'll also have a 5-session package that I'll be setting up here shortly. I usually sell more of the 10-session packages than the 5, so we focused more on the 10 and the 2 when we were first starting out on experimenting, since this just launched a couple days ago. But just kind of gives you an idea that those are separate products then, that each one based on what it is that you want the customer to experience and how many sessions that they can do. Now, one question that came up with one of my clients when we were on their session is, well, I want to add one more session. She had been doing the 2-session package and she said, I just want to add one more session. Well, what I'll do then is and what I have done in the past is we just add the extra session. What we can do here is set up a whole new product that is just a one-off session specifically for an individual coaching session. I can then use that for a client who wants to just add a bonus session, or if they're just wanting, because I don't sell single sessions personally. For what we do, it doesn't really give us enough time to cover enough ground to take care of what needs to be done. But an additional session, that might be a little bit different. So that's where you just kind of think about, how do you want to work with your client? What's the best way to organize this and manage this? And how can you set it up then to where it's all in one place? So as I showed in the last video, we also then, Kajabi then gives you your dashboard. So when you first log in and you click on the coaching tab, this is where it takes you first. So it gives you how many active clients that you have. It gives you how many sessions. It talks about revenue. It talks about upcoming sessions. You can go in, and so it's kind of like a management tool to help you with time management, to see what's coming up, how you're doing on your coaching, and whether we need to ramp up our marketing efforts, or if we need to put some different emphasis in other areas. We need to bring another coach on board depending on your program and how you have your coaching set up. So those are a few things to kind of just be thinking about and consider as you're putting this all together. So other things from a best practice perspective, just to talk about some of my other experiences with coaching. So one of the things with Kajabi is that it's one offer per product. So you can't purchase the same offer more than one time. So if someone purchases a 10-session package and they want to purchase another 10-session package, they can do that, but they'd have to do it through 2 separate offers. So I'm working with Kajabi to find out for sure, and I will let you guys know on how that works, if we need to set up a whole separate product, or if we can do it in 2 separate offers, but one product. So I will let you know once we know for sure on that one. But what I've done in the past is we invoice sometimes through a third party. So if that becomes an issue a lot of times for yours, for now, that might be something to consider, is to invoice in a third party application and then grant access through the product through those offers. So anyway, that's something to think about from that perspective. Other thing that people have been asking about is notes or submitting assignments, or if the client wants to submit things that are included in there. At this time, on the first gen of this brand new product that they've just launched, that does not have that capability yet. So the workaround on that, on what we've been doing so far, is I just do it kind of like we used to in the past, where I would take notes, or if there's a worksheet or something that I want them to submit, they would still email it to me. And then in the back end, I can go in and add that to those resources so that they would still be able to see what they submitted for future reference. Or if I'm giving them notes, I can upload those. But if they want to give me notes or suggestions or questions or agenda items ahead of time, so from that perspective, if they have agenda items, you can send out an email ahead of time and say, looking forward to our coaching session at such and such a time. Are there any specific agenda items or questions that you want us to make sure that we cover during our time together? And then based off of their response, now you could do that through a Kajabi form, you could do it through a Jot form, you could do it just simply through an email. And then when they submit that back to you, then you can go in and add those agenda items so that they can see them ahead of time, that it's already set up. So it looks really super professional, that you've taken the time to have those agenda items that they specifically have asked for that are in that agenda for that session. If there's any supplemental content that you have that goes along with those agenda items that they may have requested or asked you about, you could add those to that resource session ahead of time as well. So they'll be able to see that ahead of time. They'll be able to see it after the fact, even after the session is marked complete. So that works out really well for keeping that archive and that communication available for those clients. So that in a nutshell are a few things for you to know as we're leading into these first couple of days and this new development of launching this amazing coaching product that is now available in Kajabi. So if you have any specific questions about the coaching product, please go ahead and put that in the comment section below so I can address those, because if you have the question, most likely other people have that question, and we can continue to make sure that everybody gets those questions answered, and I will answer them, or if I don't have the answer, I will find out and I will let you know what I find out, since it is brand new and we're both kind of learning together and experimenting. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't watched the two videos that go prior to this one, where I talk about the introduction as well as how to set it up in your Kajabi, be sure to check that out. And then also be sure to stay tuned for my next video, where we're going to talk about one-on-one coaching versus group coaching and the difference now on how we can set that up in Kajabi, because there's differences and pros and cons and various things that might help you out. So check that out. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I invite you to do so and hit that bell notification so you won't miss those upcoming videos, and you'll get notified so you can watch them. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on the next video, and happy coaching.